Good morning, Dr. Gary here. We are on the road. We are nationwide dental practice brokers. We've been doing this for 12 years. Today's topic is a message to all the sellers. Please consider the consequences of waiting too long to sell. I'll explain what happened in Florida. The date is October 1st, 2022. We'll get into that. So anyway, we're doing this now for 12 years, the dental practice brokerage nationwide. We have 10 employees, including 2 CPA accountants, marketing director, operations director, 5 acquisition development people. So we feel we have a pretty good team right now, and operations director too. The phones are answered. Our contact info is 201-663-0935. And our website is dentalpracticeguide.com or nationwidedentalpracticebrokers.com. You can reach us 363 days a year. We pick up the phone constantly. We just take off Christmas and Easter. We work every day from 7:30 a.m., including Saturdays and Sundays, till 9:30 p.m. East Coast time. We will pick up the phone. The information you're about to hear today is for entertainment purposes. It's not legal or business advice. If you're thinking about selling a dental practice and you're one of the larger dental practices, like approaching 1 million, we work with many of the DSOs and they pay our commission. So often they pay our commission, and sometimes we can get your legal fees reimbursed at closing, depending on circumstances. So please give us a call. There's so much to understand about the DSOs you'll never know. They could promise you everything, a great value, and then you find out that they hold back a tremendous amount of money, that there's a recapture clause or clawback clause if the practice doesn't make the money that it's expected to make. Believe me, you have no idea what can go on with some of the contracts, with some of the DSOs. In fact, right now, there's a large DSO that's having huge trouble. And they're closing up a couple offices. I don't want to start naming names, but they're having big time trouble. Anyway, so what happened? Why should you consider the consequences of just waiting and waiting because you think, I practiced for 35 years, I could easily practice for another year or two. What's the rush? I often hear this. Well, I ask you to think about Florida. Because I have a case right now. Doctor was holding back, kept asking for more, renegotiating. This went on for 6 months. Now, he was in one of the downtown areas in a strip mall. He owned the space too, but it was in a strip mall. And he would not sell because he just kept hemming and hawing and changing the deal around. This went on for 6 months. He keeps telling us, I could keep practicing. I'm in no rush to sell. Everything's working out great. And you've got it. But then he would move forward and change something else. And then keep changing and changing and changing. There was like no end to it. So the buyer kept accommodating. And just recently, we made some more changes. Kept accommodating. So this went on and on. And now we're about 6 months and 2 days, okay? It's in Florida. The practice was near the ocean, ground level strip center. Doctor owned the real estate. And now we haven't even heard from whether it's male or female, we haven't even heard from her. No comment. We don't even know if the building is still there because that area of Florida got devastated, totally devastated. And I don't know what's going to happen now. I imagine the practice is completely washed out, finished, nothing there. And if there is something, it's just a shell. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm thinking the worst. So here's a doctor that said, I can wait. I practiced 35 plus years, let's say, for example, and I could just practice another year. I don't have to do anything. The unpredictable happened. major, massive, catastrophic hurricane, wiped out, totally wiped out. So, tell me that you can predict the future. If you can predict the future, believe me, I want to go with you and I'll pay for the ticket. Let's go to Vegas because you can predict the future. Let's go to the roulette table. I ask you to be aware, if you've had a great career and you've made substantial earnings, look at those 34 years or 37 years of earnings. And if you're at the 38th year, maybe you should consider selling, because you can't look back at the 37 years and say, well, it's been fine, I've had no problems, and assume the 38th year. This doctor is wiped out, I'm sure. I don't even know if the entire strip center that they're in is still there. I think it's underwater. All right? Because the strip center was ground level. It was only a few blocks from the ocean. You could walk to the ocean. I think it was like 2 blocks. You could walk to the beautiful ocean, major highways there. And I don't know what's going to happen now. I don't think it's there. There's no contact. And this doctor has now lost everything, I'm sure. Yes, insurance will help pay for things to only a certain extent. But what are you going to do about the patients? How many patients are going to be coming back to you or even want to go to the dentist if they're in your region and they've lost their house? Well, what's going to happen? Where are the patients going to come from? What about your staff? Can your staff get to work if the roads are passable? How are you going to rebuild the building? You can't go to a friend's building now or his dental office and rent space from them because they're probably wiped out too. And once you go 5 miles out of the radius, it gets to be hard. So this is something you've got to start really considering. I thought doctors would wake up after the pandemic. Just wake up. But they didn't. They didn't wake up. Some did, but most don't. They went back to normal. But this is a devastating hurricane, completely wiping out this guy's entire, or gal's entire fortune, entire business. Who's going to want to buy the practice now? You're going to rebuild it? You know how long it takes to build a dental office and how expensive it is? The cost is so high. I hope she has the adequate insurance. I don't know. But this is a huge problem. Trying to rebuild that practice, it's a fortune to rebuild now. Where are you going to get the supplies, the labor? We already are in a supply shortage area now. How are you going to rebuild it? How long is it going to take you? What about the effort? What's going to be happening with all the staff? You have nothing, and you can't go to a friend's office because the friend's office got wiped out, probably in your whole region. Maybe you have to go an hour away. It's a big problem. You've got to start listening. You have to do the Murphy's Law. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong at the worst possible time, and be prepared for it. Call us. We could talk to you about this incident, but I have plenty of other incidents that happened. Okay? I feel terrible for this doctor. And the deal, we spend so much time on the deal for him, and the deal is nowhere now. Nobody's going to buy this practice. There is no practice, probably. It's underwater. But it has a great view of the ocean. 2 blocks from the ocean. You could see the ocean. Huh. Such a shame. Please give us a call, Dr. Gary. Thank you. Bye.